sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria.
Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning. I want to thank everyone, of course, for joining into the show. Like I said, we are broadcasting out of the WDCE studios here at the University of Richmond. And one of the things I want to start off with before we get going here is that we are simulcasting. You say, well, what is simulcasting? Well, simulcasting is when you are able to have your amazingness on multiple streams at one time. Now, I am here broadcasting out of the radio station, but we are on TikTok. Now I'm able to sit there and stream now on TikTok. So shout out to everybody who's joining in on TikTok. One of the things I need you to do, download the Simple Radio app. Download the Simple Radio app. Search WDCE on the Simple Radio app, and you can listen to the cartoon themes that we have. We have the Disney block, the D block, coming in hot here on the next music segment. See people that are already joining in here on the stream. A couple of streams that we're doing, like I said, TikTok. We were just able to finally get to the whole TikTok thing, the live TikTok thing. Hiya. Let's see here. What is that? Anthony King. Hello, Anthony King. And like I said, I can see some of the chats here. So if you do say it, I will be able to shout your name out. It's like getting advertising. It's like getting advertising here on the radio on a Saturday morning. So like I said, I can see the chat right there. But we are broadcasting live on Instagram. Hello, let's see here. Hello, Deseranto. I guess that's how, sometimes it's hard for me to see it, but at least I'm seeing it. So, if you say something, I will be able to respond to it and say what you're saying. FCC violations, of course, or FCC rules in effect. But I am here, like I said, Sergeant Curtis Schultz. See you, Big M Lone Dragon, in the chat here. Like I said, we are broadcasting live on TikTok. So if you're out there in TikTok land, hello out there in TikTok land. Good morning, Skydro. See Skydro there in the chat as well. But yeah, we are here broadcasting live on TikTok. And like I said, the whole TikTok thing just opened up last week. You have to get 1,000. You have to get 1,000 subscribers in order for your TikTok to be able to live stream. Well, I wasn't sure that it was going to happen, but all I did was just post a video about Velma, which seems to be very polarizing. You sit there and, very polarizing, the whole Velma thing. And the next thing you know, I shot up. We've got 50 people I see so far here in TikTok, which is great. This is great. This is definitely the way that we want to go. I'm going to be doing more live streams on TikTok, setting up memberships so you can actually have a hand in producing the shows. And now, of course, here on Saturday morning, one of the things that we do is that we talk about cartoon themes and the news and all of that. But Ash, I've needed an assistant for a while. Shout out to Cato. Cato, of course, the phone number. You can call in here in just a few moments once I give the number out. But absolutely, yeah. So yeah, the Simple Radio app. Search WDCE so you can listen to the radio segments because we do play cartoon themes. We'll be playing some Disney cartoon themes that were requested. Came in on a request from Skydro Walker and a couple of other people. Polarizing how? It's universally hated, is what Lone Dragon said. Deep Cut Dave last segment said that he lasted for about 10 minutes. He lasted about 10 minutes. Well, most guys can only last for about 3 minutes, maybe 30 seconds. But listen, he lasted about 10 minutes is what he said. And but he lasted about 10 minutes. And of course, one of the things that like I said, we're doing, we're broadcasting live on TikTok, broadcasting live over here on Instagram. Shout out to Tiny Plastic Universe. The Instagram feed gets a little choppy. So that's why we also have over here, we have Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter all here at the same time. But like I said, man, the numbers just they tank. Well, we gotta buff those back up again. But it seems that immediately out of the gate, the TikTok viewers I'm still getting used to the whole TikTok thing. So, but anyways, like I said, we are broadcasting live on TikTok. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And like I said, WDCE 90.1 FM. And, of course, if you want to be a part of the show, you can give us a call at 804-289-UR90, 804-289-8790. One of the things, of course, that's very interesting about Saturday mornings, you would sit there, you'd run down the stairs, grab your bowl of cereal, watch cartoons, but you would also play with action figures and toys. Action figures and toys was a big, interesting thing for Saturday mornings. And this TikTok is for a limited attention span, I guess. But I mean, how many times do you see a live media puppet, a real media puppet here on TikTok or on anywhere? Well, I plan on doing more. The average attention span, I think, is about 5 seconds, 3 seconds, something to that effect. But yeah, so toys and toys is one of the things that I always bring up. And hold on, it looks like I think I have a phone call coming in here. Well, let's see if I can pull this up here. Hopefully, we won't get the feedback this time. All right, caller, you're live here with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell. State your name and where you're calling from. The Cato Cave. I like that. And that's cave with a K, right? Cato's Cave with a K. That's Kato. Cato's Cave. And Cato has a collection in his cave. And so Cato. That would be weird. But I do like the Cato's Cave. And like I said, and anybody who wants to know, you can follow Cato on YouTube and also on social media. Cato's Collection. That's Cato's Collection with a K. Cato's Collection with a K on all social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. But Cato, one of the things that I'm glad that you called in is because this past week you started something new. A new podcast called Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. And it was the other day, and I want to thank you for starting a new podcast. It's always nice to see new things and creators doing new stuff. But I wanted you to call in this week because I wanted you to give the listeners, the listening audience, just some information and kind of talk to us about what exactly is Animal Warriors of the Kingdom and also your podcast and just the whole IP in general. And what's going on here with this whole Animal Warriors of the Kingdom thing?
Well, first, I want to say, I had you on speakerphone. It was getting a little echoey. First, I want to say congrats on the growth, man. I hope nothing but the best for you. I can't wait to see you just completely blow up and take over media as we know it. So, congratulations on that and the interview this past week, the past couple days on WRVA. I thought that was fantastic.
Well, thank you so much. I see Jerem back there behind the glass, jumping up and down and waving. So he just seems to be excited.
Did a great job on there. Producer nailed it.
Yeah, well, he learned from the best, of course. As the most trusted puppet in me. Been doing this since Roswell, so I bet he better learn a little something. Take some notes back there, Jerem. Do you hear that? Do you hear that back there? He's jumping back up and down over there. I see him over there, but whatever. Right? Yeah, that's one of the reasons why all of a sudden I get feedback sometimes when callers call in. But so.
Well, you asked about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. So myself and Inu Tavi, also on YouTube, go follow him as well. We started up a podcast called Animal Warriors of the Podcast. It's completely dedicated to the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom line, almost specifically the comics and the 6-inch toy line that's coming up. That's about to be released, hopefully shipping out in March. Well, it's a toy line based on a comic. The comic is in 3 issues and created by Jason Bienvenu with some fantastic artwork. One of the best comics I've read in a while. It actually is the only comic that I'm reading physically at the moment because it is that good. And it's a story about some anthropomorphic animals. Think along the lines of Planet of the Apes, but there are some other animal kingdoms involved as well. I won't spoil the story, but there's some nice twists along the way with the main character, Pale, and the main antagonist, Kali. Fantastic designs, awesome colors that will remind you of how colorful toys were in the 80s, things like Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. And it's a 7-inch-ish toy line, fantastic looking figures. But I've been following them since they did their smaller, the adventure class figures they had that were more of the 4-inch line, but they've recently upgraded to do 6-inch through a Kickstarter that they had. But really fun line, and more importantly, really cool people involved. Jason and his team are great. There's also a fellow by the name of Jeremy who runs a company called Authority Figure Studios. That they're making a tabletop game that you use the actual 6-inch action figures to play. So think along the lines of D&D, or if you played HeroClix, think of that, but you can actually use your 6-inch figures to play. There's even some, at least one exclusive figure to the board game itself when you order it. And it's just a lot of fun, and it gives you a great reason to get your figures out and actually play with them on a table with a friend. And the stats are great. Like, the stats change based on how you pose your figures. If you may be kneeling down behind some cover, well, you just got a stat increase for kneeling down behind cover. Each one of the figures will have what you're used to with board game type characters, where they'll have different stats and different attacks and defending capabilities. And it's wonderful. There's already some folks talking about 3D printing some extra accessories to go on the tabletop game. Just a lot of fun, and it's specifically focused to have really cool figures with great articulation that you can get involved with the tabletop game. I think it's been one of the most exciting toy lines that I've been following for the past few years. And the first wave has started to roll out to some reviewers, which means it's getting close to ship, and then we move on to wave 2. So I'm really looking forward to it. So the podcast that we started it's going to be bi-weekly on Thursdays, but I'm also not going to force the information if there's nothing really to talk about. But we've just gotten word from Jason and Jeremy that we are now the official podcast for Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations with that.
For Animal Warriors of the Kingdom News. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that front. That's very exciting. So every Thursday, so long as that every other Thursday. Sorry, every other
Thursday. But also, like I said, we're not going to force the information and give you nothing to hear. So it'll be posted on the Animal Warriors of the Podcast Facebook group, which feel free to go join. It's brand new. Let's go fill the ranks of that place up, and that'll be the go-to spot for the news.
Right. I have a couple of people here in the chat saying congrats, Cato, in different chats and things. So this is very, very interesting. Now, you mentioned that you mentioned we'll get to the board game here in just a few moments now, but you did say that there's 2 figure lines. There is a smaller figure line, and then there's also a larger figure line. What was the difference between the 2?
Well, the original figures were small 4-inch lines that now they're called Adventure Class. And I'm not sure if that's continuing, or if they're just if they're discontinuing the Adventure Class to carry on with what now is going to be called the Primal Class. I don't know that that one is removing the other, but if I had to guess, I would think so.
And so there's 2 different. So one was a smaller scale. We have the larger scale, which you said is about 6-7 inch size figures.
It'll be up there along the lines of your Super 7 and Mythic Legions scale. Some of the figures are just a hair shorter than, say, your Masters of the Universe Revelations figures, but there will be some larger figures as well. One of the characters I can't wait for is Thane. He's a massive gorilla. He will be a really large figure. And I'm hoping, they haven't announced anything, but I'm hoping there's an entire class of elephant characters called the Pachydyne race. And they would be absolutely huge. I would really hope they do those, but I don't know if that's or not.
So you said they were elephants, right? Elephant?
There's elephants, bison, chimpanzees, orangutans. There's actually an exclusive coming up for PowerCon in Ohio where the Thane figure, the Thane gorilla, is getting repainted into an homage of Masters of the Universe Beastman, and it's an exclusive to PowerCon in Ohio.
Ah, well, that sounds interesting. Well, I was wondering. You mentioned elephants, so I was just wondering if the elephants voted Republican.
They might.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any donkey class. If there's a donkey class or not.
That was good. Well, you beat me to it because that was going to be my next question. I was like, where's the donkey class? We got to make sure that we're playing both sides here, and
equal airtime, right?
That's right, indeed. Now you mentioned the tabletop game. I am familiar with Jeremy at Authority Figure Studios. Great guy. Does a podcast every couple of weeks with Laser Pants called Loose But Complete. Part of the three.
I would recommend everyone listening go follow the 3POA podcast on YouTube and check out Loose But Complete.
Yeah, great guys over there. But now you mentioned that he's in charge of the tabletop game, and the thing that caught my attention is that you can use your action figures that you purchase to play the game. Absolutely. Well, now that's something that seems very different and unique. And it gives you something to, instead of just, most people just grab these figures, open them up out of their plastic prison, and then put them behind glass in a soulless detolf. So you're telling me that they don't have to do that. They don't have to keep their figures behind glass in a glass prison in their soulless detolf, and they can actually use them and play the game with them, which seems to be very unique.
Not only do you not have to do that, it is specifically designed so you don't even want to do that. Another thing is, I mentioned on the show last week that I don't typically army build characters. Well, that's going to have to change if I plan on playing this tabletop game, because there's an actual reason to get multiple versions of army builders, because you can genuinely build an army.
Ah, well, I've heard you in the past say something about not army building, but if it is part of the game and it's going to help you win games, then of course, why not do it? Now, is there a time frame of when the tabletop game will be? You mentioned the figures are coming out possibly around March, but do we have any idea about this tabletop game?
Not yet. It's getting closer as we go. Jeremy and Jason mentioned that after Wave 1 ships, there may be an update on the SpiroToys.com website about pre-ordering the game. It's not up for pre-order yet. The only thing we know is that the game itself will be a D10-based rolling system, and you'll have everything you need to get started in the package. You'll have one exclusive character if you decide to go with that package, and then of course they want you to have some figures out. So maybe Wave 1 and 2 will be popping up before we can get the tabletop. They can get the tabletop game out. I don't know that to be sure, but it's like I said, if you guys will follow the Animal Warriors of the Podcast page on Facebook, as soon as I know, I will absolutely let everyone else know.
Well, Cato, listen, thank you so much again this morning for calling. Like I said, I figured that if there's anybody I could talk to about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, it would be you. Now, the last thing, of course, you mentioned comics. Where can they go and get the comics?
So if you go to SpiroToys.com, it's a fairly fresh website. They've moved away from the Kickstarter backer kit website that they were using before, and now you'll have the SpiroToys.com site to use. You can also order from all your favorite retailers, thechosenprime.com, Big Bad Toy Store, all those. But if you go to SpiroToys.com, you can actually buy and download the comics digitally, or I believe you can order a hard copy. I think digitally it's $2 an issue, and there's 3 issues out right now, or at least they were on sale for $2 the last time I looked. But I think people will be pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to spoil any of the story. It's a beautifully written comic by Jason. It's a beautifully drawn comic. I love the colors, and the story it's something that we don't see in comics lately, and that is a brand new IP that's not linked necessarily to the nostalgia of our youth, but still somehow feels nostalgic. And it's a fun ride in the first 3 issues.
Well, thanks. Like I said, thank you so much again, Cato, for giving us a call, telling us about that. That's Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, and also the new pod, the official Animal Warriors of the podcast, which will be every other Thursday, unless otherwise stated. Go join the Facebook group as well. Also, go over to Cato's Collection. Cato, where can everybody find you on social media one more time?
You can follow me or subscribe to me on YouTube at Cato's Collection Reviews. That's 2 Ks. That's also where the podcast will be airing. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook at Cato's Collection Reviews. Instagram at Cato's Collection. If you just Google search Cato's Collection with Ks, then you'll probably find me somewhere.
Well, there you go, everybody. Cato's Collection. Make sure you follow him, give him a follow and like, and we'll be looking forward to hearing more about the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom here in the next couple of weeks. Maybe have you call back as things get closer and as this toy line ends up coming out and getting into people's hands. But Cato, thank you so much for calling. Thanks again for your kind words at the beginning of the segment as well. And look forward to seeing all of your success in the coming years with this particular IP.
Thank you, sir. And again, I'm stoked to be a part of the radio show. I wish you nothing but success. I hope you get everything that you've earned. I won't say deserved, but I'll say earned, because you have earned every bit of success that you have. So I wish you nothing but the best, sir.
Well, like I said, thank you so much again. Cato, you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
You do the same.
All right. Oh, that's Cato from Cato's Collection. With a K, calling from Cato's Cave, by the way, also with a K. So once again, that's Cato's Collection, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom and Animal Warriors of the Podcast every other Thursday around 8 o'clock in the evening. Check them out all across social media. 804-289-UR90, 804-289-8790. Give your garbage another life. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A message by Keeping America Beautiful and the Ad Council. Phone lines are open, of course. Take another phone call here. One more phone call. I guess 1 or 2 more phone calls before we head into the music break. Once again, download the Simple Radio app and search WDCE, and you'll be able to listen to the show and the music. You say, well, yes, we will be playing music. We play cartoon themes here. And people call in and request cartoon themes. They request cartoon themes over here in the chat. Have someone sit there and say, nostalgia is dangerous. Memories taken apart. The bad stuff removed. Good things added and wrapped. Bruh. That's what it says. No, that's what it says over here. We got another phone call coming in here. Let's go ahead and grab the phones. Let's see what's happening over here. Caller, state your name, where you're calling from. Good morning. You're live with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, Sam Newsman. Good morning. How are you? TNT Nate. TNT Nate, how are you this morning, sir?
I'm ready, prepared. I'm good as always, Sam.
Well, I've been following you on Instagram lately. And one of the key phrases that you always say at the end of every reel that you've been posting is be ready. Be ready. So
the most important thing to be. You have to be ready.
Being ready indeed. Well, who was not ready last week was the Dallas Cowboys. So, of course, I needed to talk to you about the Dallas Cowboys because you're always saying go Cowboys. And it seems that last week that
being a fan of America's team is not always the easiest route. Also, being ready is not always the easiest thing to be. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones and Dak, maybe they weren't as ready as they thought they were going to be. I think Micah Parsons is ready. I think there should be some changes in that organization, but I will still always remain a fan. And I'll always be here to try to help your listeners be ready.
Well, one of the things that needs to be ready, like I said, is the Cowboys, who were not ready last week. Now, Sean Payton is interviewing around, but it seems that Jerry Jones is going to be sticking with Mike McCarthy. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with what's going on in terms of the salary cap. But it seems that the salary cap might be the most detrimental thing to your Cowboys next season. Do you want to comment on the whole salary cap situation that's going on with Dallas?
We have to regroup, Sam. Listen, there may be a few players that are taking up a majority of that salary cap. And as far as Mike McCarthy goes, I think we should have had Sean Payton back when Jerry picked Barry Switzer. So as a fan, I'm not always a fan of their decisions, but I stick by my team. And as always, go Cowboys, Sam. But I also want to say congratulations on the show. I saw the award you won. Heard you in that interview. It's good to see you getting some press out there, Sam.
Well, thank you so much, Nate. I do appreciate that. It's as a real media puppet here, trying to set the standard and raise the bar. It's nice to know that since I'd go into what was going on at Roswell, but we know it's classic.
They should have already been following you. Since Roswell.
They should have, but there's this whole thing going on out there where a bunch of humans now who are in the media are called media puppets. And, it really just kind of irks me sometimes because here I am, a real media puppet trying to do things that only a real media puppet can do. And then I see all these humans being told that they're media puppets, political puppets.
Okay, they're just using that term because they're just having their strings pulled from behind the scenes. They're not a real, legit reporting media puppet like you, Sam.
Well, that's true. But I tell you, and I could get offended. But if offense is a choice, just like happiness, which seems like that you're still.
If you talk about Italians, you talk about the mafia. If you talk about those people that pull those strings, it's a coincidence.
That's right. Yeah, it is a coincidence. It's always a coincidence. Somewhere, but that is true. Now, Nate, people can follow you on Instagram. Where can they follow you on Instagram?
TNT Nate. Instagram, Sam.
And you'll be
what's going down with the string pullers of this world, trying to control these puppets. I'll give you my take every day, usually once a day.
And that's TNT Nate at TNT Nate on Instagram. And Nate, I want to thank you once again for your kind words. Next week, we'll have you call back in. We'll start going a little bit down the rabbit hole again, but trying to keep it light.
This week, I just kind of wanted to lay off a little bit. I had a lot more research to do. There's a lot going on. Looks like the world's prepping for something big, Sam. So I want to make sure the listeners are ready next week for me to talk about it. So this week I needed to go a little deeper than I usually do. You know what I mean?
You have deep down the rabbit hole, and those rabbit holes can get kind of dark.
So
it is the year of the rabbit. That's a good point.
Be a big year for your show. I already know. I'm letting you know from my research, from looking at your analytics and the numbers. This year, your show's going to take off, Sam. You heard it here first.
Well, I hope so. We'll see if that's the case. I'm feeling really good about it myself. But, as long as I continue to have you as our conspiracy correspondent, our official conspiracy correspondent, I'm sure that we'll continue to set the standard and raise the bar.
Raise the bar. Sam, I love when you say that. Anyway, I got to get out of here. I just wanted to call in, wish you congratulations on the show, on all the awards that you're winning. I'm going to go back to doing my research here. And as always, Sam, go Cowboys.
Oh, go Cowboys indeed. Ah, man. Well, like I said, be ready. Be ready. That's at TNT Nate on Instagram. TNT Nate on Instagram. The year of the rabbit. The year of the rabbit hole, I guess. So next week, I guess it'll be coming in hot. Research. Yeah. Read search. Read something. Anyways, but here we are. Like I said, we are broadcasting live. It is the 28th day of January in the year 2023. It's 10:34. Let's see. Maybe we'll get one more call in. Can we do one more call? 804-289-UR90. 804-289-8790. Broadcasting live here on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see here. So, but Lone says, you woke me up just to bore me back to sleep with sports. Well, maybe you should be a little bit more cultured, Lone. Say go Lions, Cowboys, yuck. Well, that's because Lone Dragon plays pickleball. Yeah, he plays pickleball. So maybe we'll get the pickleball champion calling in maybe next week. We'll see what's going on with that. All right, caller, you're live here with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, Sam Newsman. State your name and where you're calling from. Hey, Crazy Toys, how are you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing great because you drove your butt to the station.
No, I didn't drive anywhere. I just sit. Listen, I don't drive anywhere. I just sit in the car. Is Germ back there over there behind the glass, sitting there jumping up and down? Would you actually pay attention back there, Germ? Listen, you're not even paying it. Good grief.
I really appreciate him. I heard him on our local WRVA radio station with John Reed. That was a great interview. I thought Jerem said everything that needs to be said about you and all the things that you guys are up to, and it really took me back to a time of Board Blanket and Fort Pillow and the fall of the Golden Giraffe and how this whole journey started. I also wanted to add that I would be the only one saying that your Saturday morning show, I think, means a lot to everybody. I think it's something that fills our Saturdays. A nice way to start the Saturday, It's like, it's like, how could you have a bad Saturday from listening to your show? And of course, I want to talk about your producer always saying all the kind and thoughtful and meaningful things that he says every week that might not seem like much when he's saying them, but when you stop and think about what Jerem is saying at the end of his show and about things about life that, things that help us get through. So I think your show does a good job of encompassing all of our emotions and our thoughts about things and it means a lot to all of us that you do this every week. I know I'm not the only person. And thanks for, hopping on the Casual Toy Collectors stream and doing stuff with them. And thanks for your daily reels and all the things that Sam does. So I just really wanted to say that.
Well, listen, I thank you so much for your kind words. You've been listening almost since the beginning. We started off this show during the drive time hour. And one day what happened is that I started playing cartoon themes and all of a sudden my phone lines blew up over here and had a bunch of people call in. You were one of them, calling in to request cartoon themes during drive time on a Thursday. I called it a Throwback Thursday. And then that was my cue to decide to move the show from the middle of the week, from a Thursday at drive time to here on Saturday morning. So I want to thank you, of course, for being a supporter and listener to the show. Now, you've been listening to WDCE before I was even here on the radio station. Is that correct?
Yeah. I used to live near the University of Richmond area, so I would pick up the station. So, it was always fun to hear all kinds of weird shows and music and stuff you'd never normally hear. And one day I just happened to walk in my kitchen while my radio was on and I started hearing like comic strip themes and some tiger sharks, and I was like, I gotta know who this person is. So I met your producer. That's how I met your producer.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you walked into the kitchen and made a sandwich. So I mean, it was the sandwich of sandwiches that ended up having you hear the cartoon themes that I was playing that day on the radio.
I wanted to add one thing. Something's been happening around here that I thought was interesting. You go to the grocery store, you buy bananas, and sometimes they've got like Mickey Mouse stickers or Marvel comic stickers. Well, anyway, I collected a bunch of those Marvel comic stickers and I stuck them all over my cup or all over a drinking cup that I drink out of. Well, my son's 2 years old and he is really taken to this cup. And he likes me to name all the characters, and he's started to learn who everybody is on the cup. but it really brought me back to a memory of about maybe 7, 8 years old, and the first series of Marvel cards by I want to say Skybox, but probably not. Anyway, it was this first series of Marvel cards, and I know everybody knows what I'm talking about. You know, the Jim Lee X-Men cards followed. There was like 2 or 3 series of these Marvel cards. But I really loved collecting these Marvel cards with white borders. They were like the most amazing comic book cards you could ever hold. And I used to sit at a coffee table and go through the cards, and I would try to draw all the characters. So my son reminded me of some memories when he was trying to name all the characters on my cup. So anyway, I just wanted to share that memory, and I'm gonna get off the phone so someone else can call. But thank you, Jeremy, for your production, or Jerem, and thanks Sam for taking the time to do what you do as well.
Well, thank you so much for being a supporter and listener to the show. I appreciate all of your kind words. And I see Jerm back there behind the glass jumping up and down. So I guess he's excited. So he got his own shout out. Listen, he got his own shout out with brains. He doesn't even know how to sit there and make the sliders go up and down sometimes. He's getting feedback on phone calls and all this other nonsense. But anyways, he is excited. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much, Crazy Toys. You have a great week. And absolutely. Thank you so much for calling. That is Crazy Toys. Crazy Toys calling in from the Cobra Frat House. I want to thank everyone. Of course, we are broadcasting live, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and of course here on WDCE 90.1 FM out of the University of Richmond. I see the TikTok feed seems to be going in and out. Maybe we'll have to hook that up to the Wi-Fi here on campus on the next segment. Maybe we'll do that the next segment. So one more phone call. I think I had someone that was trying to call in a second ago and they weren't able to call in. So if they're able to call in, oh, look, there goes the there goes the California Rays again. 804-289-UR90, 804-289-8790. One more phone call before we get to the D block. We have the D block. Have a couple of cartoon themes lined up here in a moment from Disney. Some requests that came in. I haven't played Disney theme songs in a couple of weeks, but we do have the one more phone call. Let's see here. We'll get to the phone call here right now. Let's see if we can pull this in. Caller, you are live here with the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, Sam Newsman. State your name and where you are calling from.
Hey, good morning, Sam. This is Brian down in North Carolina.
Hey, Brian, how's it going? I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir?
Man, we're doing great, man.
Oh, cool. It's kids. Yay, kids.
We wanted to call and just say how much we enjoyed listening to you, Sam, and congrats on all of your success. We heard you on the radio yesterday, even down here in North Carolina. Just wanted you to know that nostalgia is real. Now, my kids wake up in the morning on Saturday morning, and they want to listen to Saturday morning cartoons, and it's because of you, Sam. So thank you.
Oh, that's great. Do they have a particular favorite cartoon that they enjoy watching, or is it something that they have that they enjoy? They're like, oh, we need to watch this particular show. You remember, because that's what would happen. You'd wake up on a Saturday morning because only a certain show would come on. Come to mind maybe Pee-wee's Playhouse is back in the 80s. But is there a particular cartoon that the kids like to watch?
Well, with our modern viewing system, it makes it much easier for us to locate the cartoons we want. But DuckTales is a big one. We love it in the household.
Oh, that's great. I have DuckTales queued up here in just a few moments. So I'll be playing that. And you said you're calling from North Carolina, and you have a whole crew there with you. How many kids do you have down there?
We have 5 kids down here, Sam.
5 of them. 5 of them. That's great. That's a crew. That's a crew. And
on 90s cartoons and good books, sir.
That's right. And well, I guess the question is that who gets control of the remote? Is it the first one down the stairs? The first one to finish the.
Dad does.
They're all pointing at Dad. They're all pointing at Dad because Dad does get to control the remote. And well, but then there's also an educational moment too. You can sit there and show them different shows that maybe they're not familiar with. But But Brian, I want to thank you, of course, for calling into the show. Shout out to all of the crew down there as well. And I'm glad that I could be a part of you and your family's Saturday morning every Saturday.
Sam, we got one more message for you.
Sure. That's great. You know what? That makes me want to just tear right up right now. That's fantastic. And then normally I'm a puppet.
Great work. So happy for you.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thanks for calling in. That is Brian down in North Carolina with a whole family, a whole crew there. And nothing like the kids. To know that you are making a difference and educating the kids about what Saturday morning is and how magical Saturday morning was. And of course, that just goes to show that the magic of Saturday morning is still alive, and it's here only on WDCE 90.1 FM. Yes, it says, hi, your stream is lagging really hard. I see that. And so we're going to fix that here on TikTok here in just a few moments. We'll come back in a moment here on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. But what you need to do is download the Simple Radio app, search WDCE, and you can listen to these cartoon themes. Can't play them on the other channels, but can play them on the radio. And we'll be back on the other side of this music break at the top of the hour for the last hour of the show. And, of course, some more magic here on the only radio show dedicated to the magic of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real puppet. Follow me at Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And like I said, we'll be back here in just a few moments. From the most trusted puppet in media, reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning.